Alright, what is up guys? JaretCampisi back with another episode of the Carbon V4 series, where we take this beautiful 2018 Panigale V4S, customize it with the support of our patrons, and then give it away when we're done. If you guys would like to be entered to win this motorcycle and help support and make these series possible, please check out the Patreon page. It's always the first link in the description below. Today we are taking this over to our local Ducati shop, Koups Ducati, and they are going to be doing the break-in service for us. So I'm really excited to get this done. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the episode. I was telling some guys that met us over there at the other episode, this bike was $30,000 stock. And then we purchased around $40,000 worth of parts to put onto this thing. So we're looking at a $70,000 motorcycle by the time we're done. So it's pretty freaking insane. I say this every time, but man, it's gonna be hard to give this one away. So now that it's broken in, let's see how this bad boy feels. Wow, it's so stable and so fast. It's unbelievable, guys. If you have a chance to ride one of these bikes, or God forbid buy one, honestly go out and buy it. It's the best bike I've ever ridden, hands down. It's incredible. All right, I have arrived. So I actually brought it over a day early because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. I'm really excited to see what's all entailed. Apparently it's a little bit involved, so it should be a good episode. Stay tuned. All right, so I am back. It is now Friday. Got Ben doing the first service on the Panigale V4. We were just chatting. He was explaining to me like what all is basically entailed. Big things are oil change. It actually has break-in oil, and you want to get that out of there. We'll check for any shavings in the oil, things like that. But it should be. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're getting it out anyway. He'll do a chain adjustment. He's gonna replace the rear brake fluid. As you can see, it's like turned into a nuclear waste plant already. And then just like a visual check over the bike, make sure everything looks correct and the bolts are tightened down, nothing's like loose and gonna fall apart, anything like that. So that's what we're doing, starting off with removing some fairings, and I'm actually curious to see what it looks like under there because I haven't seen the inside of this thing yet, so stay tuned. All right, so the lower fairings are off, and one thing I noticed right away is the oil filter actually comes down from underneath, whereas on the 1299 it was actually over there on the separate side. I mean, it's a completely different engine, it's a completely different bike, so that makes sense that it would be different, but this engine just is insane. I think that's magnesium, isn't it? Yeah, magnesium. It's freaking badass. One other thing I noticed is this stock system is massive. I think the Acra system, they said, saves 12.5 pounds, so I can't wait to freaking get that thing off there. But yeah, there you go, guys. There's a little inside view of the V4. And so the sight glass is on the opposite side on this one, and Ben said you can kind of see through it with the fairings on it, but I would say if you're going to do an oil change yourself, definitely leave it off while you're changing the oil and setting the levels and all that kind of stuff. So next is draining. Got it. See what this oil looks like in there. And there she goes.
And there's the drain.
How's it look? Whoops. Oh yeah, there's definitely some shavings on there. Not very large though. It's a bunch of little ones. That's pretty normal, right, Ben?
That's very normal.
Yeah. So it looks like it was broken in pretty well. So it looks like removing the filter is similar to the other one. Once you take the first bolts out, you got to thread them with larger bolts, and then you use that to kind of break the seal and pull the filter out. So it looks like it's very similar, just in a different location. And there's the top off, or the bottom off, I should say. That looks pretty gnarly, I guess, but the filter's up in there. And there's the filter. Looks pretty standard. Not much excitement there. We'll just throw a new one in and that'll be that. So this is the oil that we're going with, the Shell Advance 15 by 50. This is what Ducati recommends. I think actually Ducati works in tandem with Shell to develop specific motorcycle oil for their bikes. So that's what we're gonna use. And then just replacing with a fresh filter.
me feel so good when it snaps in place. And then we cleaned the O-rings, and then Ben re-lubed them and everything like that. Made sure they were all good to go. Everything was good to go, so now he's just popping it back on there. So Ben got the filter housing installed. He's just torquing it down. It's only 10 Newton meters on that. And he was mentioning too on other parts of the bike, like you really need to be careful when you're working on these and you don't over torque stuff, because these will actually break off. So yeah, you gotta be really careful with this kind of stuff. All right, so putting the drain plug back on, Ben cleaned this completely off, and then obviously got a new crush washer and used a little bit of silicone as it calls for in the direction. All right, so torquing it down, I believe Ben said it was 14 Newton meters, which 14, again,
yep,
not that much at all. There you go, perfect. And now we're filling this bad boy up. Is it 3.2 like the other one, or is it?
A little bit over 3.
A little bit over 3, yeah. And again, you always have to check because you never know how much you got out and stuff like that, so. In she goes. So we filled the oil in. We're just watching the sight glass on the opposite side. This says it's at the perfect level. Obviously, when you turn the bike on and run it, it's probably going to drop. And then Ducati actually mentions letting the bike sit for up to 2 hours and continuing to check the level. I guess there's a lot of different crevices and things inside this engine that the oil can get into. So we'll just keep you updated on that. So up next, we're going to replace the rear brake fluid. As you can see, it gets pretty cooked quickly on these bikes. I'm not sure why they don't do something about that, but I was telling Ben it's not like the rear brake really does that. So just flushing the clean fluid all the way through. I was telling Ben the nightmare of a time we had on the 1299. He's like, yeah, the trick is just don't let air get in there. I was like, yes, that is true. So I'm just gonna keep filling it and bleeding this bad boy. And just like that, we got a fresh rear brake reservoir. And I told Ben that took us about 2.5 hours last time we did it, because we got air in the system. So don't get air in the system. So lubing the chain, the tension was dead on, so we didn't have to make any adjustment. And there we go.
We're cleaning the chain.
Oh, cleaning the chain, sorry, thank you. First you clean, then you lube. So just like that, the chain is nice and cleaned and lubed. And just cleaning off some of the stuff that flings onto the Martesini forged aluminum wheels. Looks really nice. This will be replaced with a 520 chain conversion in the future, but for now, it's nice. How was it?
Good.
Dead on?
Just about, yeah.
All right, so next we're going to start it up and watch the oil disappear. All right, so the next step is plugging into this guy right here, which will plug into the Ducati diagnostic system. And this actually talks to the computer via Bluetooth, and that's what will allow Ben to check and see if we had any error codes or if anything needs fixed or updated in the ECU and stuff like that, so this will be cool. All right, so it's currently hooked up to the ECU right now, and it's just looking at everything. The different dots represent different things. There's no red dots, so there's no like major issues, but there were some things that need to be corrected. There's also an update for the motorcycle, which could be anything from a new ECU map to, well, really anything. So we're gonna run the update and then we'll look at the other things in a second. So this is showing the update. It says engine calibration update, so that is something to do with our fuel map. So that's pretty freaking cool. Interesting. All right, so we just updated the ECU with the update that they had available. They had to start up the bike, let it run for a little while until the fans kicked on, and then everything was good to go. Next thing we're doing is going through the BBS and looking for any codes that might have been thrown in the first 500 or so miles. So here we go. All right, so we went through the rest of the diagnostics. Everything is good to go. That one update to the ECU has been applied. Everything else looks good. We're just gonna let the bike now sit for 2 hours. I'm just gonna roll out of here and get some other things done. And then Ben will top off the oil, and we'll pick up the bike when we get back, and I'll take it for a spin and let you know how it feels. So while we're waiting for the oil to settle, Teens and I are probably going to be on a reality TV show. We're not allowed to talk about it, but we need to get some shoes and stuff. It's like a fit couple reality TV show. So just looking at some new shoes to do like running, CrossFit, all that kind of stuff in. So went with the Nike Free Runs. It's a newer version of what I had before. They have a little bit more support and everything, and they look freaking awesome. But they just feel like ninja slippers, dude. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Are you trying them too?
Yeah.
Nice. Next, it's Teen's turn. She's trying the ones I'm wearing right here, which look dope. She said it feels great on her right foot, a little weird on her left foot, so she's trying this guy now too. I'm not even sure what that is. So Christina's gonna go with this guy right here, the Nike Free Run 2018s, but she's gonna go with the white. So they didn't have them in stock, so they're just gonna order them for her.
Yep.
Sweet. Grabbing some lunch. We got Panda, not Panda Express, Panda. I got sesame chicken with some white rice and an egg roll. We also got a vitamin water tropical mango, and it's amazing. Christina got white rice and orange chicken like she always does. All right, so we're heading back to Koups Ducati, and of course it starts freaking raining.
Raining, it's pouring.
It's supposed to rain today, tomorrow,
Pennsylvania sucks.
and Sunday, so there's really no way around it. But let's go pick up the bike. Okay. So just our luck, I'm trying to beat like a thunderstorm that's moving in like half an hour, and look what happens. There's an accident, and like it's literally a little like bumper to bumper accident, and there's 14 cop cars, a fire truck, freaking sluts. It's ridiculous.
We'll see. It doesn't.
What? What's the problem?
You can
It's
see
a little.
what happened.
It's just a little fender bender. No big deal. Everyone's fine. See? Just a little fender bender. All right, everybody move along. Everyone's safe. Everything's okay. Now I'm gonna go rip by them on the V4.
Ah.
There she is.
All right, guys, so the bike is officially broken in. The first service has been done. We've got, you know, the chain adjusted and lubed. We got the brake and oil changed, fresh filter. We got the rear brake bled, completely replaced. Ben went over the entire bike. It was even really cool to see the ECU get an update. It doesn't tell you exact details, but supposedly after the first service, this bike makes even more horsepower. So considering we did just under 186 bone stock, that's pretty insane if it's going to make even more horsepower. And by the time we're done with the full Acra system, the sprint filter, the up map, I think we're going to hit that elusive 200 horsepower to the wheel. And even now, it does feel just a tiny bit less restricted. And like I said, once we make those adjustments, I think it'll feel even better. So shout out to our local Ducati dealer, Koups Ducati. That's where we bought this bike. Ben did all the service today. He did a wonderful job. He's a great mechanic, and I always enjoy watching him work. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of the Carbon V4 series. If you guys want to be entered to win this motorcycle when we're done and help support and make these videos possible, check out the Patreon link. The sooner you get involved, the better it is for you guys. And I think that's it. So make sure you hit a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more. Turn on that little bell so you get notifications whenever we post. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm gonna go enjoy myself.